Welcome to A Corporate Time with Tom and Dan. I'm Tom.
I am Dan. Samantha's here. And should we just jump?
Yeah,
do you
let's
want
do
to
it.
let's
do
jump
it.
right into it? Tom wanted to do a bit. He called it Weird Job Wednesday. Weird Job Wednesday. Dan really likes it. Tom says that's bullshit. It's another Weird Job Wednesday. It's so weird. What are you doing? What is your job? Are you neat? Are you tidy? Or are you a fat slob? So fat. You make lots of money and you sit up in your tower looking down on all the people who are working by the hour. Fat people. It's a Weird Job Wednesday. Most of them are fat. Just another Weird Job Wednesday. This Wednesday's so weird. Oh yes, it's Weird Job Wednesday. Still fat. Just another Weird Job Wednesday. Thank you, Tom. He's not fat, but he was when we did our documentary. But now he's jacked and quite the sneaky snack.
I still laugh at that time that we had the gentleman sitting on the couch for a weird
Oh,
and,
why are you breaking
and
this?
he didn't know the show, but he was brought in by a BDM or whatever, and he was a bigger gentleman. And then we're playing the intro. I'm
Yeah.
looking at his eyes. He
Yeah.
had the headphones on. I'm like, when I talk about you,
Did we have another one? Did we have a secondary one that was like,
We had a
"These
lot."
slobs are for America?
Pariah Mike was doing a bunch
Yeah,
of them.
yeah. We gotta go back to
He
doing some
didn't
custom.
go. Pariah Mike didn't go as heavy on the fat
He only
slobs
did
as
when
I
it was.
did.
He only made fun of Tom the most.
Yeah. You like making fun of me. So does Melissa. So does everybody that we do
End of the
work
year
with.
You know what?
awards.
I don't like it anymore. I don't like it anymore.
No, I like it because
I like making fun of Butler. That's all
Can't do that no
done.
more.
Yeah. God.
I texted him the other day because his sun biz came through, and then I was
Yeah.
like, "Hey, your sun biz."
Tell him to put our mail
Hey,
key in
where's
the.
my tax info?
Yeah, Butler's
never
got it. It's
Damn.
it's with our mail key. He
Yeah.
said he was going to mail it to us, but I don't know. I don't know
His
if we'll ever get
his
it.
business card still active. Like I'm serious.
Bastard.
It's still active. I am not going to turn it off. I'm just gonna
Leave
see
it
how
Well,
long.
look, if
This
he
is a new turn.
I would
daylight
never.
savings.
I would never forgive myself if somebody who worked here got out in a situation where they had an emergency and they didn't have any of their own money and I didn't provide them
Yeah,
with
right.
my business card, even though they quit. I would never forgive myself. So we're just good people. Let's get to it.
Yeah, Weird Job Wednesday brought to you by Streamline Mortgage Solutions, StreamlineFlorida.com.
Mm-hmm.
Call Brian Zyma and his team if you want to refi. The rates are going up. I heard something on the news the other day.
Do it now.
So if you're going to call them now and just see your options, before you have to pay a higher interest rate.
Indeed.
Refi now. Anyway, on the line with us, we've got Alan. How you doing, Alan?
I'm doing well. How are you?
Good.
Good, man. Hey, thanks for the time. You're an extremely respectful person, and Sam pointed that out to us. She said, this guy on the line, he's very respectful. I got the yes, ma'am, and he was on time and very nice, so we appreciate that, sir.
I appreciate it.
So, Alan, what do you do?
So I own a demolition/floor scraping company
Cool.
that does insurance demo. So if the house floods or catches fire, or let's say like a hurricane, mold, anything like that, restoration-wise, I go in there and I demo it out and get it prepped for the next guy. So like if there's a big storm, let's say a hurricane, if a good hurricane hits, I leave, I go wherever that hurricane hits, and then I do the cleanup, just pulling everything out to the main road,
So,
depending on what they call for. Sometimes they call for a 1 foot cut, so the whole house has to be cut 1 foot up, 2 foot, 4 foot through the whole house.
So that depends on how much flood water got into your house because it soaks up the drywall, right? So then you have to cut all the drywall out and everything, right?
That sucks.
Yes, sir.
Man, so
Isn't there
Don't call
any...
Tom sir. That makes me feel weird.
Is there
yeah, I don't deserve it, Alan. I
I'm
don't
trying
deserve.
to get you ready for your boys so you can hear it when your boys say it to you.
Oh, look at this guy. He's on your side. This is a person that doesn't want to make fun of you. There's one out there.
I told my sons to call me, yes. I'm like, say sir. And they're like, yes, sir. They'll say it. And then I'm like, and then we all laugh. And we're like, and I'm like, we all know I don't deserve that respect. What have I done?
Yeah.
Like,
It's like,
what have I shown
it's
you?
It's like in that video when you see like a monkey discharge a firearm, because they eventually figured it out, and then they're like, they get all excited because they know they're not supposed to be doing it, they don't understand it, but they did it, and they get really excited.
And it's just by accident. Like it can't do it again.
It's just, to them, it's just a noise.
So, Alan, so how long does it take you, like, let's say you get a house that got flooded, it goes 1 foot, you get the order 1 foot up the wall, and what does that take to pull everything out? Do you pull all the furniture?
From like the windows to the walls.
The cabinets?
Like,
sweat.
Come on. Skeet.
Come on.
Whatever. So let's say, okay, so last week I just got done doing a 1 foot cut flood of the whole house, and it was actually a sewer backup. So all the furniture, all the carpet, all the baseboards, the drywall.
Hey, we got to throw out this beanbag chair.
The beanbag chair definitely has to go. So Cat 3 is usually, like I said, it's usually a sewage
That was a
backup.
crap 3.
Yeah, crap 3 for sure. So it took me 2 days just because I had other stuff I had to do with the first day. But a normal full house, let's say 1,800 square foot, takes me a day by myself to cut the measure out and cut everything. We use HEPA-Vacs and stuff like that, multi-tools that can cut the drywall easier and smoother.
Gotcha.
So you do this by yourself? You don't have a crew of pain pill guys?
Yeah, you should have
no pain pills on my job.
No,
What?
you need
they work the hardest because they want the money for the pills.
They're in pain.
I mean, on those pills, they are virtually unstoppable.
Yeah.
You can't even kill them.
And they'll work so hard to get the whatever the $50 that day to get more pain pills for the next day.
And trust me, if they're desperate and you got pills in your pocket, you can make them do anything, even like naughty things. You can make them be naughty for you if you want.
But they are unreliable.
Yeah, unreliable.
Unreliable. They're good for that one day. Once you pay them, they disappear. Trust me, I've gone through all of that.
And they always have crazy stories that you're like, you were in jail 2 hours ago?
Man.
How are you here?
Yeah, hitched a ride on a bread truck. Like they always got
oh
there.
My God.
They got there in a very odd way.
Like,
Yes.
Your wife
But
is
if
in
I
the
go out for
emergency room? Why?
If I go out for a hurricane, then I'll bring a crew with me, about 4 guys. That way, because you get zoned out a neighborhood. So let's say a hurricane came, took out your neighborhood, Tom. We would come in 4 strong, and 11 hours a day, 7 days a week, man, until the job's done of ripping out everything. And then once that's done, we just keep moving on.
Have you found that when you were dabbling with some of the workers who were addicted to pain pills that your hardest workers have mysterious bandages? They're covered in mysterious.
Have
you noticed this? Some of the strongest people I'll meet, like I'll meet people out there and you'll look at them, you can tell they're good workers, but they're covered
or just open sores.
Yeah, open sores are mysterious bandages.
Those are diabetes sores.
All right, didn't know that.
Or the meth scratches.
Yeah.
Like, how are you so out of shape? All you do is work for 12 hours a day, hard as you work. Like, you are doing more exercise than anybody I know, and somehow still
30 beers at the end of the day they power chug.
30 beers.
Listen, this job takes a lot out of you, Papa.
I know.
Out of you.
Oh
my God, that's funny.
So, have you ever been like demoing a house and then found
like a bag of money?
Yeah, found any
Dead
valuables
body
or whatever,
or something
like,
you shouldn't. Like you're cutting a wall open, you find a baby back there or something.
The craziest thing that I found is like little knickknacks, man. Because when I will do a junk out. Like even if a bank calls me up for a foreclosure, someone left all their stuff in the house, I have to go in there and gut it. Throw everything out for the next tenant. Sometimes you'll find the flare guns. You'll find a lot of pipes. You damn sure find
pipes and flare guns. Who knew that crackheads? I'm gonna smooth this rock and then I'm gonna let everybody know where I'm at.
Why flare gun?
Usually the people that are the family members come in there and take all the guns and
Give me those flare guns.
The flare guns are in the weird spots. Just I don't know why.
Put the flare gun in the freezer, you idiot.
I found a few actually of the flare guns.
Weird. Why do people have flare guns?
I don't know. Why do people believe in dowsing rods?
They can't have a gun.
He's right.
You know what I'm saying?
You can defend yourself with a bright orange boating flare
Wow.
gun. You know what? I'm going to do that. I'm going to start carrying a flare
I
gun.
never would have thought of that.
Sam, let's start carrying flare guns, but let's open carry. I'm going to put mine right under my chest like a detective. I'm going to open carry a flare gun, and ain't nobody going to do anything about it. Kid Rock, we the people.
Can you open carry a flare gun?
I'm going to do it. I'm doing it.
In a holster. Can we all carry flare guns on our sides on a holster into public?
Yeah, we're the flare gang.
To say you're coming back from the boating trip.
Yeah, we're the flare gang, and we always carry our flare guns. We the people.
Also,
Can't tell me how to live.
if someone was pointing a flare gun at me, I would hold off. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You don't get a shot with a flare
Well,
gun.
it's unpredictable. It could kill all of us.
Like I don't think it would kill you, but it will hurt as shooting a flaming ball at you, right?
You know, my dad let me shoot the flare gun out of his boat one time, and it's a very special memory I have. I love you, Dad.
Awesome.
I miss my dad. I love you, Dad, and thank you for letting me shoot that flare gun because flare guns are cool, dude.
I think that's the only thing you've done that I've never done.
Yes, I'm little flare Danny. Let's all get flare guns and holsters. Come on, dude.
Yeah, I've never shot a flare gun. I
Yeah,
don't want
did it.
to.
You've also never slept with more than one woman.
Oh, I've done that.
Yeah.
I've done that a lot.
Okay,
They call
well,
that the
yeah.
flare gun. It's good. Things are flaring. Flare it up.
Oof.
Alan, we're gonna start like investigating this whole flare gun phenomenon because I've never heard of it.
This is why
but
this
it's
is
awesome.
the best bit, and this is why Alan
Yeah.
rules. Is because how would you find out that he's like, you know what? Come to think of it, I have found an odd amount of flare guns on the job site. Like,
Yeah.
who would think that?
Like if you're a felon, you can't illegally own a firearm.
Yeah.
You just get a flare gun because you want a gun.
Do you paint
You
it black though?
You got to feel the metal.
Do you paint
have to
it?
feel the
You
metal.
got to feel the steel. Do you paint it black or do you keep it bright orange?
You keep it orange.
These are all. One was painted black, and then the other one was actually like a chrome looking. But he just had painted it chrome. It wasn't coming out.
Oh,
yeah.
you went to Joanne Fabrics. Got it like a.
probably
He's
getting high
doing
on
like
the
a
spray.
science. Doing like a science report. You go and you buy the chrome spray paint, and you spray it on an old Adidas shoebox.
So Alan, like, do you ever think about like getting a crew so you don't have to do this hard ass work? Because I imagine
They steal all the flare guns, man.
like you sound like you're around our age and doing this hard ass work every day. I mean, does it take a toll on your body?
You know, I've been doing it for 6 years, all by myself, man. And like, I'll get guys if I'm up on a scaffolding and I have to cut a whole house down, you know, with a sawzall and stuff like that, just because it's in between two other houses. And you know, I could get a machine and rip it down like that, but sometimes with the insurance companies, you can't. If there's brick walls, those brick walls have to stay. It's just the roof has to come with all the drywall inside. Man, I've thought multiple times, and I am at that point now where my name is so reliable that I'm trying to get a good set of crew members, but just like everyone else is dealing with, man, it's hard to find it. You know, the people that are the good workers own their companies. You know, so at the end of the day, you just have to keep on moving. And you know, I ended up buying a floor scraper machine last year to supplement me not having a worker to get the jobs done faster and stuff like that, you know. So
Alan, let's talk about like finding workers, especially in your type of field. And I've talked to plenty of people that are you know, in like home repair, construction, contractor, flooring, air conditioning, all these, like when you get more like skilled labor, it's different, but it's just like when you're trying to find people that will work like manual labor and as helpers or whatever, I've heard the same story for years. It's just impossible to find a reliable person that shows up. Like they just end up for whatever reason not showing up. And it's just and then the ones that are really good, you'll be like, oh, you'll be gone because there's no way you're gonna, you're gonna go
Yeah,
start
they'll take your business.
Yeah, you're gonna start
They'll
your
take
own
your
business.
business.
Yeah.
It's exactly what I've heard.
Exactly.
So how do
And
you?
that's my fear.
Yeah.
Is that they get inside with what I do. They learn all my companies and stuff like that I work for, because I work for 11 companies throughout the state of Florida. I'll go to Jacksonville, to Tallahassee, to Tampa, to Daytona, down to Orlando. I was in Tavares Monday. So Gainesville yesterday. I have a big house fire in Gainesville I'm doing right now. But finding help, man, like you said, once you get them to check, man, they're gone. They're gone, and they're either getting arrested or they're going on a crack binge, man, or a pill binge or a heroin binge or something like that. And then they'll call you back in a couple of weeks. Well, I've already lost respect for you. You say, because it's all about your word at the end of the day. You say you're going to be there, you got to be there.
Alan, I got the idea. You pay them in pain pills. That's how you keep them around.
I said that. You got to have leverage.
Because you give them money.
I'll pay them in blunt. That's fine with me.
Pay me in blunt.
They want the pills.
Yeah. Blunts don't, like, if you stop smoking blunts, you don't start doodling your pants.
Yeah,
like,
blunt.
like you
And
need
blunts do
the
not
heroin.
and blunt, trust me, I've done blunts and I've done pain pills, and one of those, not blunts, makes you work fast. The other one makes you hungry and kind of cool, makes you mellow out.
Make you lose your hammer.
Yeah, but if you give me, you want to know why I walked around the Millennium Mall wearing sunglasses at 100 miles an hour is because I was on pain pills.
Yeah, crack and pain pills are where the manual labor's at.
Yeah.
Marijuana will make you forget where your measuring tape is.
Oh.
You'll be wandering
You'll
around.
get creative. You're like, oh, I put the nails in a pattern. You're like, oh, get out of
Where's
here.
my glove? Alan, we'll end with this. I'm always fascinated by how much insurance companies pay.
Yeah.
When I hear they pay that much. Oh my God. And so how much does an insurance company pay you for a random, let's say 1 foot cut up house flood? What do you get paid for that kind of job?
All right, so on just say that job that I just got done, I pulled out $1,300.
All right.
That's for that's for everything. I didn't have to mess with the kitchen. So, but on a full house, but let's say up in Gainesville, I have a full house at 1,800 square foot house. That job's going to pay me $7,000. I'll be done with it in 2 weeks.
Yeah.
Okay.
So,
all right. Yeah, but that's a
That's
lot.
by myself.
Yeah, that's 2 weeks of straight hard ass work.
Yeah.
Yeah,
all
but he
day,
can manage it, and there's something to be said about that.
No.
Like, even when I have a hard job in front of me, if it's just me and I know how to do it, sometimes that's just peace of mind
sir.
in that.
Yeah.
Is it? Do you get? You can organize it the way you want to, and you know your workflow and how fast you can work, right?
Yes, sir. And then you just like Dan said, what I know how to right now I'm actually ripping out a bathroom right now for a client down here in Wildwood. So, this job will take me 2 hours, and it's going to pay me $500.
All right.
Yeah, so there's a give and
ebbs and
take.
flow.
Yeah,
Some
yeah.
are better than others, but
I like that
of course,
you
there's
kind
some
of
jobs that pay
control
you
it.
crap.
Yeah, I like that you kind of
sir.
control it. So if you're having a good day, you can haul ass and work fast.
And
if you're not feeling so great, you can still work, but control the level of amount of effort you want to put in. That's kind of cool.
And you're in the right side of construction in the in the terms of you don't have to deal with some Karen telling you that you didn't do this right. I can still see this, the space here. They're complaining about your work. Once you demo everything, no one's complaining about what it looks like after. You do your job, the insurance pays you, and you're out, right?
Yes, sir. Yeah, because once I'm demoing, there's someone else come back and put it all together. I have contractors for that.
Yeah, and that's the pain in the ass, yeah.
And that's why really I succeed in this, because these contractors can't find the workers that are clean. Because I'm a clean guy, so I'm not walking in here with stinking the high heaven of cigarette smoke and booze. You know what I mean? So these customers, they all respect me a little bit more, and the contractors, that's what they want. They want a worker, but at the end of the day, you got to pay for it.
Yeah. I mean, it seems like if in the future, because it seems like the bar set pretty low. It's like, okay, you're not drunk and on pain pills, like you're the best worker around. That's the bar.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
Pretty much. Yeah, you keep your shit clean. Oops, sorry. You keep clean and stuff like that, then it's you're good, man. Money's gonna flow. You know,
Yeah.
as long as you stick with your word, man.
Well, Alan, thanks for doing a weird job today. Good
Yes,
luck
sir.
with everything. You're a real man. You'll be more fulfilled than I ever will.
What
Just
are
be.
you, are you giving him a reading right now?
No.
In 3 days?
God, admit now.
You do hard
Yeah.
work at the end. You're
I
like,
see a
I see
baby
this.
in your
Your son's
future."
respect. You're good, Alan.
Alan, we like
You know-
it. Go ahead, man.
No, you're good. I'm listening.
Well, I was just I
We're
was
just
gonna,
wrapping it
look.
up.
I was just making. I was just gonna make it. Nothing I say is important, Alan. Trust me.
I'm sorry, Papa.
What do you pop up?
Old.
All right, Alan. We'll see you later. All right.
Yes, sir.
All right. See ya.
You shut your mouth, you little old man. He told me. That's awesome. He was great. That was a good one. You know,
Yeah.
sometimes when people reschedule, you end up getting a good dude. I just like
Yeah.
that guy's demeanor. He was real man with sense of humor, though. That's a unicorn. When you get the real man who's not got the overly grumpy, most real men are overly grumpy. This guy,
Yeah,
he had
but-
a little bit of fun loving in there.
I'm familiar with real men because.
Are you now? Are
and,
you now?
And they all have a sense of humor. You have to get past. You got to get
Okay,
joking
that's
with
fair.
them.
You
know what
gotta
I'm
get
saying?
past
Yeah,
the-
because they're
They got a wall
stone
up.
cold. They got
Yeah,
a
they got a
wall.
wall
Once you
up.
get past that wall, they'll tell you the jokes.
Build that wall.
Good
Yeah.
jokes.
Exactly.
All right. Bye bye. Welcome to A Corporate Time with Tom and Dan. I'm Tom.
I am Dan.
Samantha's here. How
I
you
am
doing?
here. I'm good.
Samantha, our producer, is here. We are live on our Twitch stream. You can catch us Monday through Friday, streaming live wherever you're at. Just go to twitch.tv/Tom and Dan Live. That's all you got to do. And then we put up all of our video replays in the afternoon on YouTube. Same name, Tom and Dan Live.
Yeah, and if you get the Twitch app, it'll give you notifications when we broadcast. So literally, it'll give you a buzz and then you can listen to audio only if you want.
Yeah,
if
Twitch
you
is
can't
pretty
watch.
great. Twitch is pretty great. You can tip us out, all kinds of fun stuff on there.
But if you can watch, you'll see things like this. Our buddy Canadian Josh in a frozen tundra outside in Canada.
What a great shot.
How you doing, Josh?
Reporting live from the frozen tundra of Canada. I figured this is a Canadian segment. It doesn't get more Canadian than this. This is actually a time when I'm usually out for my afternoon dad fun. So, you know what? I'm bringing Tom and Dan and the whole Tom and Dan community along with me. Out here, it's a beautiful 22 degrees here in Nova Scotia, Canada.
You have a better setup in the snow than Inside Edition did. You do. You have a better setup and better audio than a $1 million news program that interviewed us. Unbelievable.
How does that happen? I don't understand how that happens. And the one that gets me when it comes to audio, Dan, you're an audiophile like me, is Tuttle's audio with that little road. It's the best. And I can't get my mind around it. I can't figure it out.
It's pretty awesome. What's the temperature there right now as the snow falls on you?
22 degrees Fahrenheit. I translated it for you guys. I put it in American for you.
Not my thing.
You know what I don't like? I don't
A
like
lot of things. You don't like a lot of things.
the memes where it shows like Orlando's temperature and then temperature in Alaska, and they're like same temperature, no difference. Then I'm like, well, that's stupid. Like I understand like their temperatures change in different places, but they're cold. They've been cold for 4 months now. You know what I'm saying? Like it gets down for this like temperature for one day, and then we'll be back in the 60s next week. Like that's. I don't know what's impressive about this meme.
I think I'm more. I think and I'm becoming one of those people, and I didn't think I would be, but I am. I'm a different breed of person on social media in that I will see the picture of your dashboard. I will see the picture of your temperature gauge. I don't feel the need to go either way on. I want to lean towards I hate you for even posting that because it makes you look stupid for not knowing that for all of time, temperature has fluctuated. That's just the way things happen.
Everybody, if your friends are in the same area,
They know.
They know.
They know.
it's-
I know. Shout out to Drew Garabo. Nothing makes him more mad than this. Like this is the thing where Drew wants to kill all of you
Like
for
if-
doing it every single time it gets cold in Florida.
Like if you're in some exotic location that I'm like, whoa, it's that cold in Tahiti. Like
yeah.
I don't know. Then that's
if
information.
Or
It's
if
like,
it's super cold. Like if we hit
You're like-
negative 14, then yeah, post your pictures.
they're like, there's frost on my windshield in Deltona. Oh, good for you. Like, who cares? No
yeah.
one cares.
Yeah, it'll be gone in 1 hour.
And guess what? We all know what frost looks like, and and anywhere 100 miles north of you, it's a complete.
Got into a fight with my
blizzard.
wife about this because she has friends of the family. She's telling lies to my daughter. She's like, we have friends a little bit further north who had flurries. And I'm like, no, they didn't have flurries. There were flurries. And then I had her look it up. No, it wasn't flurries. It was actually some sort of weird rain phenomenon that Mike from Mike's weather page was talking about. No flurry. We don't get flurries here. Why? It doesn't snow here.
I in Deltona had enough
here we go.
freezing rain.
Yes, this is
in
secondary.
2000
I was an Indian.
In 2009 or 10 or something like that, there was enough freezing rain that I went out to the patio furniture, and on my table I made a snowball. And it's on my social media, and you can look it up.
Not a flurry, though.
Anyway, so Josh, what are you up to today?
Not much. How do I sound? Because this happened to me yesterday.
Oh, you got the COVID.
Oh, wow, man, you got all the props. You're like Carrot Top of Canadian news.
I know.
There's COVID up there? I thought it was too cold.
Yeah, you should be inside. You
Hold
shouldn't
on.
be outside with COVID. You're giving it to the dog in the snow.
They told me the winter was going to get rid of it.
Yeah. And how did you get it? You guys aren't even open. It's not supposed to be up there.
Yeah.
We're keeping it all down here.
I don't know. It's floating around everywhere. And my wife felt crappy yesterday, so I did the test. And yeah, sure enough, I tell you, there is something to be said about being sick in the cold. It does make it worse. I don't know if you
Yeah,
guys
why
have
are you
ever been
out
up
in the
Colorado.
snow
Yeah.
right now?
What if this is what does him in, right?
Oh my God! What if this is the last time we
I
talk
was
to
like,
Canadian
pneumonia and
Josh?
die. It
Yeah,
could happen.
what are you doing? You should be inside.
Don't risk your life for this.
You should be in a bed.
So, you're off work for how long?
Yeah, what's the days?
Yeah, I'm off till the 7th, so I'm off from my 3-week off stretch, so it's fine. Just isolate for 5 days.
3 weeks.
So-
God, Tom and I had this like weirdo, almost like blood brother pact where if I got it, I'm supposed to spit in his mouth and give it to him so the show can continue.
So what do you do, Josh? Now, obviously, and a lot of people experience this. We did. Like, you got COVID. You can't be around anybody. You got to do the responsible thing. Like, I started just doing house projects and pressure washing.
He's
and
just playing with his dog.
Yeah, but like when it's
Playing with my dog.
when it's super snowy outside, you're limited to what you could do, right?
Yeah, this is the extent of it here. So there's like a dirt road that goes up behind my house out to this field. So, I can pack up. I pack up 2 of these,
Nice.
a couple of white labels, and I take the dogs out and I go to the field, throw the ball for them for a little bit. It's the equivalent of your 15-minute of dad fun on the dirt bikes.
This is what I want, though. I like this. I want to walk with a dog, a big dog.
Yeah.
By the way, I've switched. Now I
Drink
want
a beer, hang out with your dog.
Josh, I've switched. Now I want a big dumb dog. Because I have.
Oh, yeah, like this guy?
I've had enough pee-pee dogs. Well, I'll always have a pee-pee dog, but I want both. I want one little pee-pee dog and one big
Yellow lab.
dumb dog.
Josh, I'm jealous of land.
Yeah,
People
he's got
that-
a field.
I know people that own land and have big property. I'm like,
It is
man,
nice having a field.
that's cool to me for whatever reason.
Is
like,
it really
I'm like,
your field, or can Justin Trudeau come at any point and take it away?
That's what my
Yeah,
pop-up said.
this is not my field. This is not my field. I can be kicked out at any moment. But as long as you're not ripping around on dirt bikes or whatever, they're cool with having these farmers are cool.
Oh well, that's ever you portrayed your house as
Yeah,
having
you
a
lied.
giant yard.
You lied to us.
You're standing in a stranger's field. Well, that's not your field.
I don't know about you,
It's
Tom.
not my field.
I'm looking at a goddamn Canadian liar right now. Is what I'm looking at.
So how big is your property? What do you got? A half acre?
But not even an acre. Not even quite an acre.
No,
Now it's dwindling down.
Yeah, there
I've
you got
lost
no
a lot
field.
of
You're just
respect
like
for
us.
you.
Yeah, we got that
We're
down
the
here.
same. Even me in the townhome.
You're just snow poor.
I thought everybody in Canada had this huge, vast Yellowstone-like property.
There we go.
Oh my God, he's on
God
the
damn it.
Yellowstone. Can you come back from Canada and take Tom with you back to Canada so we don't have to hear about stupid Yellowstone, the worst show on TV?
It's not even-
I bailed after 3 episodes. Should I get back into it or
Yeah.
no? I'm here
Tom,
to mix messages.
hey,
you gotta ride it out, Josh.
I'm gonna tell you something super impressive that was both impressive and sad this morning, but I didn't pass judgment because I'm trying really hard not to yuck on people's yums. I said, "Hey, what are you watching, Tom? Have you finished Righteous Gemstones, which is arguably a really good show?" He said, "No," but he's like, "But we finished all." Like he's finished like
Isn't there, like,
9
7
seasons
seasons?
of Yellowstone. That's how much you want to be one of the darlings, or what are they? The Duttons. You want to be a Dutton.
It made me realize my wife is sexist, and I'll explain.
She just wants to watch Kevin Costner.
No. She's like, I don't like Beth. She's a bitch to everybody, and I'm like, well. Rip is killing people. Like if she was a dude, you'd be like, she's a strong. You know what I'm saying? Like I feel like she's getting a bad rap just because she is.
I don't watch the show, so I don't.
she's sexist against women.
I don't know who Beth or Rip are, but both their names suck. It's stupid. Rip.
Anyway,
his name is Rip. Rip Duggins. What's her last name?
No, he's a dog. It's a whole thing.
Is he one of their one of their murderous ranch hands?
Yeah.
He's a murderous ranch. I wouldn't be a murderous ranch hand.
No, not tough enough.
Hey, before we forget about it, Tom and Dan, let me ask you real quick. I just found out last week we have Canada is getting into the low budget airfare deal, kind of like you guys have Spirit, JetBlue, and that. So a new one just opened in Canada, and they are actually offering direct service from Halifax, Nova Scotia to Sanford, Florida,
All right.
twice a week. Yeah, I can be there in
Twice
studio
a
next month.
week.
I'm going to go up to Nova Scotia, bro.
Oh my God. Who in Sanford is going to Nova Scotia?
I might
twice a
do it.
week?
I'm going to go visit Josh. I've never seen snow.
I'll go with you to Nova
Let's do
Scotia.
it.
I've never been to Canada. I'll go with you.
I'm not even joking. Nobody in Sanford could even spell Nova Scotia.
No.
Including me. Anyway.
Look up Flare Air, F-L-A-I-R.
Flare Air.
Airlines.
We were just
They're
talking
a
about flare
random
guns
little-
earlier.
There's Nova Scotia, and then in Sanford, there's no fat chick.
So Flare Air is
Best prices on flights in
Ric
Canada.
Flair Air? It's owned by the nature boy, Ric Flair. I'm on it.
how did they come up with like
Flair Air.
Hey, they got free fare February going on.
Free Flair February. I can't even say that. Free Flair February.
Like, I wonder
Yeah.
if that's a thing where, like, Sanford Airport offers them a
Sanford, I
discount
know.
or something.
Sanford
like, because
Airport
why not?
it's a decent airport.
'Cause
It's
I-
not a bad airport.
No, it's not. But I understand, like,
We got good airports around here, man. Even
Like-
Executive, MCO, Sanford, we got good airports.
like, it makes total sense. You're coming down from Canada, getting out of the freezing cold, coming down to Orlando, see the parks and stuff. But
Bring your
why
Corona.
wouldn't you fly into MCO? And it has
Probably cheaper.
is it cheaper?
Yeah.
But like, why? I don't know the airline business, but
You'd have
it's-
to ask Andrea or Crystal. But Andrea has bought us flying into places that are smaller because
No, I understand that.
it's a cheaper flight.
Yeah, I understand that aspect, but what made them decide to
Oh,
make the deal with, like, to go from Canada
Probably
to
they're
Sanford?
probably they're all. I would be willing to bet that now that's the part that you will find interesting. I bet you it's contractually money contracts at MCO have denied Flair Air the ability to hitch itself to MCO, so they went over to Sanford.
Or you have to pay MCO a certain
That's what I'm thinking.
fee to be able
and
to
that place
use.
is packed.
Yeah.
How are you going to get more planes in there?
And Sanford's like, oh, we'll do it for
We'll take
cheaper, and so that's why they do it.
I
And
bet
it's
you.
not that far of a
And
drive.
it's a lower tier airline, still good airline, but lower tier.
Yeah, exactly. It's the no frills budget model that, you guys make it work in the U.S. Europe's made it work. It's always been hard in Canada with the airport pricing and fees and taxes, but they are trying to make it work. I'm not hopeful that it will last long term, but I could be down next month, $179 Canadian round trip from Halifax to Sanford. I could be
Dude, are you kidding me?
No, 179 Canadian. Like, you guys could be up here in Nova Scotia for like $40. Like,
Dude,
it's
let's
into
do
your
it.
That's
pocket.
the crazy
Go-to show.
That's pretty crazy because I've always told Andrea, I mean, obviously my neighbors are from Canada. They're always talking about all these awesome places. I've never been. I want to go. I really want to go to Toronto. I really want to go to Toronto.
well, that's not Nova Scotia.
I know. I understand that. But if I can get somewhere up there, I'll figure it out.
It's too big. Anyway, I feel like the discount airlines now, all they need is Wi-Fi because everybody has a personal entertainment device in their pocket. And as long as they connect to Wi-Fi, then you don't have to worry about, like, the frills of having some movie and stuff. Like, I'll sit in a crowded airplane with no drink service as long as I have my phone to look at. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, but if I can't connect to Wi-Fi, then it's a bummer because now I'm like. But if I can connect to Wi-Fi, then I got unlimited entertainment and it's fine.
It would do them I think it would be like a good service for budget airlines to ensure to the public, myself included as a nervous flyer, although I am better, if Spirit and Frontier, if these guys would say, hey, you hear the term no frills airline kicked around a lot. We want to assure you that the frills are only on the interior of the plane, the exterior, the engines and
Yeah, like,
everything.
it's safe.
It's got all the
Yeah.
frills. But they don't do that. They just keep throwing no frills on there and talking about how, the seats are plastic. It's hard to sit. And it makes me, as a nervous flyer, I connect the dot. Now, am I assuming? Absolutely. I'm not an airline pilot. But it makes me go, well, if you're cutting corners there and you got plastic seats, then your engine is probably a plastic engine.
You got plastic bolts.
Yeah, and we're going to fall out of the sky. But they don't do that. I don't think they do a good job of letting you know what a budget airline or no frills means.
I'd fly in an airplane with no seats. Like if you just
I'd
sit Indian
You also
style.
don't wash your legs in the shower.
Because I always look at it like, what is this seatbelt doing anything? Like if we're ramming into the side of a mountain.
But if he went emergency landing and you were all sitting Indian style, he's still killing some people as they
Even if
emergency
you're taking
land.
off, you're all going to fly to the back of the
Yeah,
plane.
you don't want to be back there next to the doo-doo. Some guy
I'll
back
brace
there taking...
myself.
Oh, he's bracing himself
Oh, you're
now.
going to do like you're on a
No.
tram and just hold... You want it just where there's like a pole, a stripper pole you hold on to.
Put a pole or put one of those straps. I'll just hold
Now,
the
hold
strap.
on. You got me back. I wasn't on board,
Yeah.
but now that you say I can just stand there and fly to Nova Scotia holding a stripper pole
Yeah.
like a bus, I'm okay with that.
Yeah, it's the same as the
Does it got a pee-pee pot? Can I pee?
the what is it called? It's not the sunrail, but the thing at
monorail.
Monorail. It stops fast. And you're,
Yeah, you're like, whoa, you hold your suitcase.
So, Josh, what else is going on in Canada?
Well, I was actually going to talk about Florida as it relates to Canada, and that Florida hockey, once again, is killing it. The Florida Panthers are number one overall in the NHL, well on their way looking to be Stanley Cup contenders. Tampa Bay right behind them in third place. But did you guys know, we've touched on this before about Florida-born hockey players, and there has been a few. Have you guys heard of Chase Prisky? That's the guy's name. He was born in South Florida and now plays for the Florida Panthers. I mean, that's insane to be born in South Florida and actually play hockey. Grows up a Florida Panthers a hockey fan, and he now plays in South Florida.
That is
what are the odds of that? That's
You don't get that very often. In fact, that's the pulling the you're hitting all sevens on the slot machine, because we all know the stereotype of the kids that, they grow up and they want to be a quarterback and then they end up playing for that professional team. And it never works out. They always get drafted by a team they don't like. Sometimes it actually works the opposite, where you get drafted by, like, your rival.
Yeah, the team
You know what I mean?
hated
Like,
growing
that
up.
happens more than the dream. The dream is, I want to play for Green Bay, and then what do you get? You get drafted by the Lions or something,
Josh, this is a direct result in the fact that facilities and ice rinks have become more accessible, and the technology's better so that they could practice. Because you still need, that's why it's been stereotypically Canadian hockey players and people that grow up in the north, because they can just play hockey on any sort of pond or lake, or there's a lot more places to practice. Because, and I don't know if you know this, Josh, but do you know the like sports science behind like when you need to learn how to ice skate to be able to even get to that level? Because I feel like you can't learn too late, or it's like soccer players have the same thing. It's like if you don't learn to be good with both feet at an earlier age, then it's something that you're always going to be behind, is because you didn't set that base early enough, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I was, and my boys were the same. I was probably 3 or 4 years old when I first started skating, and then started getting proficient at like 4 or 5 years old. So yeah, you basically get where it becomes second nature to be, skating on 2 sharpened metal blades on frozen water. Yeah, you got to start young. If you came in even like your boy's age, Tom, like 8, 9, or 7 or 8, and it's like at that point it's almost like they're too far behind the mark.
That's my new favorite thing. Like, Maisie has told Andrea that she wants to start playing ukulele, and I just go, and it's a good trick that any parent can use. I'm just like, oh, we missed the window. I'm just like, you can't do it.
Dude, you know what's weird about that? Max just asked for a ukulele yesterday.
I'm picking up Maisie one today. She's
they
starting classes.
They played in school.
Yeah.
They see my son.
The hell? We just had those plastic recorders.
I know.
No, they're making rock stars at these schools.
Crystal's like, Max wants a ukulele. I'm like, ukulele? Where the hell did he come up with that? He's like,
That's gay.
I thought, don't tell people I said
like
that.
goddamn Bruce Springsteen. Born in the USA. Hey, Clarence, what you getting for Christmas? That's the worst Christmas song, by the way. I don't care what anybody says. You better watch out. You better not cry.
Yeah, Bruce Springsteen sucks.
He does.
Sorry,
Yeah, I
Bradshaw.
agree.
Yeah, it's not music. It's just it's old man yells into microphone wearing too many layers.
Yeah.
How many layers do you have to wear, Bruce Springsteen?
Yeah.
You got undershirt, then you got another undershirt, then you got flannel, then you got sweater, then you got scarf,
Leather
then you got
jacket.
leather jacket. It's too many layers, Bruce Springsteen. Too many layers.
His muffin's cold.
And your dumb earring. If you and that Ed guy, the black guy from 60 Minutes, Ed Asner, whoever, the guy that's got one earring, anybody with one earring, I'll grab it. I'll yank it right out, just like my dad said he'd do to my earring.
So anyway, I guess they're learning ukulele now in schools.
Interesting.
Which, by the way, Maisie's taking classes. Max is like, I got it, and I'm like, you gotta learn it. He's like, I know how to play.
No, it's the
He's
music
like, I'm
teachers.
the best.
The music teacher's doing it. She sent me an email, and I got to get a specific type with a specific type of tuner, and then she's going to teach Maisie how to tune her ukulele. And then she shows up, I think 30 minutes before school, and then they do a 30-minute class before school.
You know how annoying it is to talk to someone that's so confident, and you know they don't know what the hell
Yeah,
they're
I
doing.
do know that feeling. I know
Learning a
that
lot
feeling.
of.
So tell me about this conversation you had with Max about the ukulele, or do you want to save it for Friday? Let's tease it. Let's just tease
I'll
it.
write it down.
Just
and
write it
remember.
down for later. 'cause
It
I'll-
is an annoying trait to have. Like, why? But you don't know how to play the ukulele. Why? You need to learn to practice. No, I know how to do it.
I got it. Have you seen me?
And I'm
I
like,
got it.
man, this makes me irritated on myself.
What else you got, Josh?
Hey, did you get that video clip I sent you real quick, Dan? I don't know if you have time for it. It's
I did.
The, part of
Yeah.
the show where I like to take
Yeah, we got a
Canadians
couple
down a
minutes
notch.
left.
Yeah, I got it here. Do you want me to start from the beginning? Because it's a fairly long video.
Yeah, just maybe like the first minute, and we can kind of discuss it real quick.
Let me go there. Here, this is from the Morning Brew. Why 50% of Canadians live south of the line. And here we go.
Morning Brew. Start your day by catching up on the top news in business, finance, and tech in 5 minutes by subscribing with the link down in the description. Alright, so this is Canada. We all know that Canadians like to pretend they're further north than Americans are, but they're really not, and I'm going to prove it to you. This is the 49th parallel, the longest border between two countries anywhere in the world, and the one that's most often thought of as being the dividing line between Canada and America. It's true that most Americans do, in fact, live south of this line, but so do most Canadians. In fact, roughly 70% of all Canadians live south of the 49th, in this land shaded red. But we can go even lower. A full 50% of all Canadians live south of this line in this relatively tiny area shaded red. This
All right.
So take that, Canada.
You know what? I hate the internet for teaching me something that I thought I knew, and then and wants to change my mind with reality. I don't want to change it.
What do you mean, like when we say they're up there, they're really right next to
Well,
us?
it's like when you break it down, and you're like, well, they're actually like, lower.
They're the same as us.
or
We're
like
more alike than we are different. I'm like, no, we aren't.
Yeah.
Have you seen these people?
You're ruining my preconceived notions that I've lived with for so long that you're screwed up my
if
reality.
you eliminate all my prejudices, I can't scream.
Yeah. Then I'm like, I'm like I know.
I'm a shell of the bigot I used to be.
Who wants to be woke?
That's why
I hate being awake. All right. So
That is a dad joke.
I'm sorry. So Josh, it's explaining that most Canadians actually live right next to the United States, or even lower than
You're like our
than
hat.
Michigan.
You're like our hat.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's more Americans in like Washington, North Dakota, Minnesota who live further north than most Canadians. And you guys didn't get to it there, but there's actually a spot in Northern California where there's more Americans in Northern California than there are, and there's Canadians further south. So you can be in California and say, I'm further north than this certain percentage of Canadians. So I know you like rooting dreams, Tom, so I just wanted
That's
to
a
put
good
that up
one.
there.
I actually like it
Well-
when you end with a little Ross Perot factoid graphic. I'm into that.
And it makes
That was
sense
good.
because, like, isn't the vast majority of Canada basically uninhabitable, or because it's just
You know what I call that though?
There's
I call-
nothing-
I call that.
Yes.
I call that amazing.
that
You know, like give me uninhabitable and just like I wish. There's a weird part of me that wishes that much like in video games, I could have a log cabin. Like you bring it in on a helicopter with unlimited food or whatever I need and just drop me somewhere, and that's just my existence to the end until I die. Just leave me there.
It's alone. What are you
I
gonna do?
know. There's something about that life of being alone and just having everything I need and just leave me the F alone.
There's
That's not the chirper I know.
I know.
Maybe the chirping is.
He'll start chirping to volleyballs.
himself.
No, like he'll make Wilson and
I like that you guys
He'll chirp to
think so
anything.
much of me that you think that I'm going to live in my log cabin in uninhabitable Canada and just chirp to a volleyball until I die. That's what
happens.
Well, it'll be a hockey puck. You're in Canada.
A hockey puck. Okay. Small. My small black friend.
Well, Josh, that's all the time we have.
guys. Good. I'm freezing. I got to get inside.
Okay.
Yeah,
We'll let you get
Get
out
outta
of
here.
here. All right. We love you, buddy.
Good luck with your COVID.
Okay. Oh, he's out. All right, Beavers.
Dead.
All right, Beavers to you, sir. Oh, wow.
He's still trying to turn it off.
Oh, that was a good one.
Yeah, I don't want to live in that cold.
I don't want to live in this cold.
Well,
I hate
this will
the
be
weather.
done in a week.
But I hate it. It's like it changes my mood. I was talking to Andrea about that yesterday. You and I were having a conversation yesterday about it feels weird. It feels weird. I was talking to Andrea about that. I was like, why does this feel weird? And Andrea's like, I think it's the weather.
Yeah.
Can you set up a fire pit in your parking lot behind your house? They frown upon that.
I asked my wife this.
Because
In
I'll
fact,
tell you,
I wanted to set up one of those little, they have these Kickstarters and different things you can buy. There's a guy online that makes a fire pit for apartments where it's small and you can contain it in its natural gas and you can put it on your balcony. But I think people would frown upon like flames coming off your balcony. It's just not wise to do that.
the thing about those gas fire pits, and the same thing, like people have those decorative ones where gas comes out of the marbles, and then
Those
They
are
don't-
like for porno sets, right?
but there's no heat. Like even
No,
though there's
no.
a flame, like you need
That's
a
just
real
for the
fire.
Ukrainian girl to take her lingerie off.
All right, we'll take a quick break. We'll be right back with more corporate time.
Welcome back to A Corporate Time.
Let's do some voicemail.
All right, buddy. Voicemail messages are easy if you'd like to leave us one. Get our app, totally free. Find a little area that says mediocre messages. Hold the button down, and you will get beautiful and sometimes angry voicemail messages. Like
right.
this one. This one's not angry. Not angry.
What's up, guys? Listening to ACT, and you guys are doing your best impression of EJ, right? So you see a TikTok video, and then you just start making all of these assumptions. So Tim Tebow, that golf tournament was for his charity, like his own foundation. The guy that he brought down was a guy that works for his foundation. So yeah, he still threw him in the lake and whatever. They were still wet or whatever, but it went viral, right? Which Tim Tebow probably thinks that that's fine because all of the publicity is for his foundation. So I know that, maybe it doesn't change much, but still, maybe provide some clarity.
Am I hearing maybe I'm hearing this wrong. Is that person one of the many people that I know who lives in Florida, who is a Gator fan, who is completely obsessed and will never
not support Tim Tebow?
Never not support Tim Tebow? Or am I hearing a man who doesn't care, who just wanted us, because he said
wants to
something in there that
clarify
was
him.
hurtful when he said that we were doing our best EJ in just seeing a TikTok video and not knowing the rest of the story. I would counter what he's saying by saying, regardless of who it was, what was on the table is, it doesn't make you look like a dumbass to do something like that on social media, right? That was the question.
And it's also, and this is why I'm still right, is because
Ooh, that's a good name for a segment. Welcome back to This Is Why I'm Still Right.
yeah, your points do, favor Tim Tebow in the fact that, all right, it is his own tournament, which does help if you're acting like a jackass, right? Jumping into the
Well,
lake.
like
while
Steph
you're
Curry
golfing.
has holy moly, but he doesn't jump in the poop
Well,
water. You know what I mean?
But if it's yours and you put it together, you give him a little more leeway, and the fact that he did know the guy and work with him, all right, whatever. But it's the intent. Now, if his intent was to create a viral video that helped promote his charity, then I may lean on your lean towards your side to be like, all right, well, that's pretty smart. If he had the forethought to think
that's not what he did, though.
But I don't believe that. I believe he just tackled the guy into the water because he said, if you make it on the green, I'm going to tackle you into his lake. And then he did it. He made it on the green. And he tackled it into the lake, and then they laughed. It did go viral, but I think that act of doing that, like I said, doesn't make him a dumb person, but it makes him closer to the dumb spectrum on the spectrum of intelligence, if that makes
Yeah.
sense, right? Because you're now like, yes, I guess you got some.
No, you're secondary clown. First clown is guy in leg, right? You don't want to be that guy.
Yeah.
But secondary clown is guy that was part of clowning. Like, have you seen the one
And
where Goldberg, where the
it-
guy is like, where the fan? It's another charity golf tournament. I think it's a charity golf tournament. I'll just preface by saying I don't know. But it's Goldberg, the wrestler, and then there's a guy that's coming up to him pretending to like punch him in the ribs and everything. It's all a work.
Yeah,
Goldberg grabs the guy like an old saloon, like you're gonna throw a guy out of a saloon, and then does the old heave ho and throws him like over some rocks where he could have easily killed the man. And it was a stupid idea. And then throws him into the leg.
I saw this. Yes,
It's so cringy. It's like I can't even watch it. Like I'm watching it, I'm like, it's so gross.
but that I give more credit to Goldberg because he's a wrestler and that's his character, and he's doing a skit bit, right?
So you're saying that's on brand for him?
Yes, and people were entertained by that. It's also not himself. He just throws some lackey that was paid to be the actor or the stunt guy that gets thrown. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah.
So that is all work so that it could entertain people, and that's smarter than what Tim Tebow just said. I'll tackle you into this lake if you make it. Oh, and then,
I must have missed this video, so now I'm watching it for the first time.
it's a nothing.
It's a nothing, but also like when the guy hits it, Tebow runs behind him and then embraces him and holds him from the back for a while until that didn't need to happen.
That's the Tebow
Whoa.
hug. Tebow hug.
That's just bro. That's
That
bro.
did
that's
not look
just-
like bro to me.
Yeah, that's just bros. You
ass,
don't know how to bro,
yeah,
man.
yeah.
That's just bros
I guess
being
I
bro.
don't know how to
when
bro.
when
Yeah.
you are gonna throw
You know
your
the
bro.
hose stuff. You don't know the
Yeah, I'm
know
more
the
on the
bro
hose
stuff.
side.
Yeah, and we are
Yeah,
bros before.
hose. Write that down. Write down bros before hose.
We'll make
That's
those
good.
shirts, yeah.
That's good.
Wow. Make a sticker out of that.
Yeah.
Put rip on it. That's the whole
But
thing.
I don't like before. I don't like before. Let's make it bros first, hose second. That just
No,
sounds
that
better.
doesn't.
I think it just sounds better. It's less clunky.
All right, what's the
let's
next voice?
try this one.
So on an episode of ACT sometime last week, y'all were talking about homeless people around the 7-Eleven, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. That's one of your topics. Well, I've got a question for you guys that could help you solve any of those problems. And here's the question. So you encounter a boulevard filled with homeless people, human waste, and dried blood. There are at least 50 people lying in the street, men, women, and teenagers. It's the middle of the summer, and none of them have bathed in weeks. A few are crackheads, most are intoxicated, a handful are mentally insane, all are hungry and desperate. Suddenly, you are granted an incredible capability. If you have unprotected intercourse with any one of these individuals, right then and there, immediately on the sidewalk in public, you will end worldwide.
God, this is like the worst escape room ever.
What?
This guy's like,
Yeah.
is he really drunk and high and like trying to be like give us a creative? What was that game? Categories?
Yeah, you're also
Scruples.
You're bad at hypotheticals because I see where you're going with your like when you have sex with this disgusting homeless lady.
Yeah.
Yeah,
and-
it's too complicated.
Yeah. And-
I do every night.
Yeah.
Oh!
But it's also like, of course you would, because especially if you could promote it, be like, I did this for the world, and you ended poverty. Like, you know how famous
I
you'd
saved
be?
the world by making love to that disgusting dried blood homeless man.
Yeah, you know how popular you'd be, and like how much you like
you'd
would
walk
be
into the
beloved.
I think that's the guy who slept with the homeless man to save the world. Yes, it's me. Come up here. Yeah. Autograph. Two
all-
autographs.
It also wouldn't be that bad. Like I could get through
Well,
it.
there's two kids in my scenario.
Yeah.
You got to close your eyes to really understand.
I like in his hypothetical, it was just men, women, and teens.
Teens,
Didn't
old
say children.
teens, old teens.
Yeah.
Well, children, you don't want children on there. They're not on the, they're not on the menu.
They're homeless as well.
Yeah, but you don't put them in the scenario because it's a sex scenario.
I got lost halfway through the scenario. So.
Yeah, it was too much.
I bet if you walk through what's that like homeless camp in California that's like
Skid Row?
Skid Row, whatever. So if you walk through Skid Row,
God, I wonder if that
you could-
band is upset that that's both a prison and a homeless camp now.
Is that not what they named their band after?
yeah, I think they Skid Row came first.
Has Skid Row always been Skid Row?
I think they called themselves Skid Row because of.
Oh no, I'm
that
sure that they
era.
did. But my point is has Skid Row like you would imagine that in California, if there's Skid Row, is it still there and it's still skidding? My point is,
No, yeah, it's skidding.
You see what I'm
all
saying?
over. I
Like,
think it's
why
worse than
is it
ever.
still going on? You'd
Oh,
think
yeah.
that they'd wanted like, we got to get this skid out of here.
No, I think it's there and it's worse than ever. And they have like malaria and like old ancient diseases in there. Like,
Yeah, they're getting like tuberculosis and stuff now.
Yeah,
Oh my
yeah,
God,
yeah.
the old diseases that haven't been
Yeah,
Yeah,
around
they're coming
forever.
back. The plague.
Yeah, they're getting weird old diseases because it's just all, and they were worried about it during COVID because they're like, oh, it's everyone's there, but they got it first.
Why don't we get Tommy and
Anyway.
Max and Maisie to do a Skid Row cover band called Kid Row?
Yes.
Right? We dress them up in the 80s outfit. Maisie's got long hair. She can be Sebastian Bach.
We could do it, but my sons refuse to practice.
Tommy's got, so does Maisie. I tell her, I was like, you got to practice your dance. She does the same thing. She's like, I got it. She got a
But
little of the confidence.
Anyway, if you walk through Skid Row, you could find a person that you would be like, all right, I'll have sex with
You're
this
the
person.
one.
Probably for free.
Clear the sidewalk.
Like, if someone told you walk through Skid Row and you could have sex, like if this was a virtual reality, like you could pick up.
down Skid Row, pick out anyone you want.
Yeah, like
that's
if it-
yours. That's yours.
You would probably pick at least one human out, and you'd be willing to do it
Yeah.
for free. Like
Yeah.
so,
You know,
it's not going to be that
I
bad.
would choose the cleanest Grammy I could find. Because I'm going to need the person to be sweet. Because this is going to be horrible.
No, we find a runaway.
You're gonna get
right?
a mean old grandma
Yeah,
who's been
yeah.
living on the streets
No,
for years.
a loving
'Cause
grandma.
well,
A loving
but
grandma,
they
and
better
I'm going to
have-
level with her. I'm going to, like, what we're
Rough
doing.
life.
Yeah,
what
but
we're
they-
doing
that-
right now is saving the world. This is not sex.
You need to find
This
it-
is nothing more than a selfless act.
You find a new homeless person that doesn't have the wear and
Yeah,
tear.
fresh on the streets.
Yeah,
Yeah.
because they're
Fresh on the streets.
Yeah. Because they still,
I don't know.
They ain't been skidded that much.
yeah. That lifestyle puts some wear and tear on your body.
But I heard after 30. No.
Yeah.
That's a jolly reference.
What's going on, dudes? So I'm listening to your show on ACT about how you guys were talking about the hamburger, right? And from McDonald's, and I have two things here. One ties into the other. So, first thing is when I used to work over at Underground Blues, which was a premier little beer bar that existed across the street from UCF, right? We were doing a bar clean, and I moved one of the giant booths away from the wall, and I promptly looked down to see if anything was behind it, and I go, hey guys, there is an egg roll back here that looks probably about as fresh as the day that it was deep fried and sold to said customer. And we all got a good laugh about it and everything, and kind of went from there, right? So anyway, this ties into the second thing. The second thing would be, why do people purchase items from a fast food place that's deep fried and then say, look, there's no mold on this thing, it was deep fried, yada, 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 blah, 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 when it's not just a fast food place, it's every place that deep fries something.
So he's saying that deep fried things don't get moldy?
I don't know.
think
I don't know what the
anything
hell
gets
Rick was
moldy.
talking
Yeah,
about.
Rick, you were just babbling. I think everything gets moldy in Florida, right? Like, I've had bread that I bought the bread, and then like an hour later, I look at it as moldy. I'm like, oh my God.
Well, I think he is referencing something we talked about, like
The
old
world's
fast
oldest
food.
hamburger is 20 years old.
Like-
McDonald's hamburger.
I found some McDonald's fries in my truck that have been there for
Oh my God.
2 months or whatever, and they don't get moldy. You know,
Well,
like
fine.
apple slices. You know, there's a certain amount of preservatives, and I think if you deep fry something, maybe it's not going to like be able to have bacteria
coated
live
in
on it.
oil.
Yeah, like, and then it becomes hard, and then it's you know what I'm saying? Like it's not going to go bad because essentially you've made it bad already, right?
Yeah.
Like you've.
I mean, it was really never fresh to begin with. It was a processed food treat.
Yeah.
And that level of production has turned it into something that doesn't need to be fresh. It's by design.
Yeah.
It's meant to have a produced shelf life.
And it just gets dried and hard.
Yeah, it
right?
just gets drier. Yeah.
And so then
Because they filled it full of sodium, they filled it full of sugar, they filled it full of fat, and then a bunch of chemicals and other things that kind of preserve it, and there you go.
fresh stuff makes bacteria thrive and then becomes moldy.
Like fresh stuff, you can say what you will about fresh stuff. Yes, we all know that eating fresh. Yeah, that's the big tagline for everybody, right? Subway and everybody's like, we have the freshest ingredient. Eat fresh.
Yeah.
But fresh can also suck. Like avocados are amazing, but it sucks to like not be like if you open it, you're consuming it.
Yes,
Get it down because it's not going to be good later.
No.
There are a lot of things like that, you know, like making certain sauces and stuff from scratch without preservatives. I make them at the house because they're healthier, right? But you got to eat them that day. If you don't eat them that day, bye-bye.
What's the best thing to not eat fresh? I contend perhaps chili. If you eat chili the next day, for whatever reason, it always tastes better.
Look this up. Look up why does iced tea get sweeter as it sits? And there's science behind that. It's because when you make it, you put the sugar in there and the sugar melts. And I believe as you chill the iced tea, it gets more concentrated because the molecules of sugar are being squished together.
That's exactly correct.
Is that
Yeah.
Okay. I just wanted to double check. I found that out last week, and I stood there, and Andrea goes, "What's wrong?" It was one of those moments where she's like, "What's wrong?" And I'm like, "Nothing's wrong. I just found a fact out that as a kid, I can remember my mom and dad making Southern. My dad loved iced tea, and I'm trying to switch off of the old Mountain Dew, so I got it in my head. I was like, you know what? I'll make some iced tea. I'll make sweet iced tea. And
too sugary.
It is too sugary, but my dad would make sweet iced tea. He'd make sun tea. And he'd bring it in. He'd make that first glass over ice when it's still a little warm. Is amazing, by the way. Like as the warm iced tea gets cooled by the ice in your cup, and then your ice.
Delicious.
It's just delicious. It's phenomenal. But as that tea would sit in the refrigerator, I swear to God, a couple days later, you'd get a hit of it. You'd be like, man, that's, woo! It's getting me.
Yeah.
And there's science behind it. It's amazing, man.
Speaking of science,
Ooh, lasagna somebody put up there.
Lasagna.
Dan Paul, you're right.
Even spaghetti.
Chili,
anything with like a red sauce, I feel like.
tomatoes.
Pizza.
Tomatoes seem to do pretty well.
And Crystal yells at me all the time about putting processed foods in the boys' lunch because
they keep.
Because I'm just putting chips. I'm lazy, so I'm like, here's some chips.
We all do it. Don't beat yourself.
Here's a cheese stick, and here's some chicken sandwich.
I
or a
only
hot
grab
dog.
things that are already wrapped. You know, it's like,
granola bar,
Yeah.
like these things. Anyway, she's like, it's all processed and you fresh. And then, but we know that as a society, we all know, like, yes, eating fresh fruits and vegetables and fresh everything is better for you. It makes
you can
logical
feel
sense.
it. You can feel the betterness.
The problem is,
Betterment.
it's impossible to quantify, and because of everybody's biology is different, and we're learning that more because of COVID, like everybody gets a different, all this stuff. And so it's like,
it's also extremely hard to eat non-processed food all the time.
yes,
man.
harder
It's
to
just
do.
not convenient.
But I think
expensive.
we
Yes.
would all try harder to do it if they could quantify it. Like, yes, this will.
This is what it does to your body.
Yeah, this will be X amount
This
better.
is your brain on drugs.
But the problem is, we see other people around. They're like, well, this guy,
They're fine.
He hasn't eaten
Yeah.
anything fresh in 6
whole
years.
life.
Yeah, like
I know
and he's-
some people that have never eaten a fruit or vegetable ever.
Yeah.
Ever.
So then you've
met my daughter.
So then you're like, well, how much better could it be? Now then you got the Tom Brady's. You're like 44, still almost made the Super Bowl game.
Yeah.
Like, and all he
I'd
does
love
is
to see what his like day-to-day
You couldn't
diet
do it.
is.
Oh, he does.
It's
He doesn't
crazy.
even eat
You
sugar
think it's
and
like
fruits.
a Seth, just nuts?
Oh,
It's-
yeah.
No, it's worse
Nuts
than
and
Seth.
seeds?
It's worse than Seth.
It's more disciplined than Seth.
Yeah, Seth is a 10 and Brady'd be a 14.
No, I bet it's about the same. Like, you could only be so.
Have you seen
know,
Seth's cheat days? They're disgusting.
I don't think he does it anymore.
Oh, he doesn't?
Yeah, because
He
it was,
stopped doing it for a while.
it was giving him problems. Like,
because when he did it, it was like, I'd be like,
He was going
dude,
too
you
far,
are a
yeah.
fat kid. Like, he would eat like 4 large pizzas.
yeah.
Or like 25 cinnamon rolls.
Yeah.
Like ridiculous amounts of things.
But also it's not just Brady's diet; it's the insane amount of training he does and the money he puts into it.
And you're not even talking about the mental aspects of what he does.
But beyond that, it's like no one can really quantify. They're like, yeah, it's better for you, But well, how much worse is the other stuff, and how much damage is it actually doing? And it was like, well, you know, everybody's different. So it's like, well, then I'm not even gonna do it because it's too hard. Yeah. And you can't tell me how much better it'll be because I could eat fresh everything and then still randomly get cancer, and then the doctor will be like, yes, you can.
Or die in a car accident tomorrow. You know what I mean? It's like, I'm gonna eat this cheeseburger.
Yeah. But then I guess, but you know, you do too many cheeseburgers. Yes, like you know,
everything in moderation.
You know, yeah, and that's what it really is. And so then it's like, well, how hard are we all going to really try then? If we can't guarantee me like a certain amount of result by doing whatever it is, and especially when you're telling me,
I'm with you.
What I have to do is
you
so
can apply that to
hard.
any addiction too, by the way.
No,
like
I know.
Why do you think people don't quit drinking or quit doing drugs or anything like that?
Hard to quantify how bad it is.
It really is hard.
Yeah.
And like I had this discussion yesterday with my therapist, exactly what you're talking about like, well, nobody tells you. Like really tells you, you know, like they allude to it, but then it always falls back on, well, everybody's different.
Because it's impossible for anybody, even doctors, your own doctor, to tell you.
Well, you would have to do the test. Like there's a social media influencer that I started my day watching this guy, Charlie Rocket. You guys follow Charlie Rocket?
No.
He originally had produced for 2 Chainz, I think. That's how he made his money, and he's gone on to blonde-haired guy, kind of heavy set. If you saw him, I think he knows Rob Dyrdek and stuff like that. He's in that like camp of like young influencers who motivate. Yeah, like entrepreneur motivators. So Charlie Rocket, he's always had a weight problem. Years ago, he lost a lot of weight, but he hasn't never been able to keep it off. So finally, he's trying to lose some weight now, and he goes and he's basically talking about what kind of like what you're saying about how like nobody knows. You know why this is happening. So he goes to like he has to go to like a true scientist who tests him and then says like, yeah, here's why. It's like you are pre-diabetic. Nobody's telling you are, but you are. So when you burn calories, you're burning literally your body is just burning like water to, you know, it doesn't think it's doing what it thinks it's doing.
It's not metabolizing like other people. Yeah, there is. Michael told me that our trainer. He's like, there's a blood test you could do. It's expensive. I
that's the thing. It's all expensive.
It's between $300 and $800, something like that.
There's also like you can go to like a dietitian and they can find out what you're allergic to. Certain things will make you swell up.
Yeah, this is what he did.
It's
to check your inflation levels. And stuff like that. Sorry,
and
I almost cursed.
And your body
loose today.
They're like everybody's body doesn't process like certain vitamins different, so it's like you know, you could test yourself and see like what your body can metabolize most efficiently, what vitamin is hard for your body to absorb, like all that stuff. And then but you still have to do something with that information. Once you
gotta follow through.
And then whatever you have to do is going to be difficult. That's all. That's what it comes down to. It's all difficult.
And on that note, bye-bye.